Clause number 2023-0D07694, the state of Texas versus Daniel Alejandro Dominguez, set for a pre-revo hearing. Announcement to council, please.
He's muted, but Robert Nicholas Ballesteros on behalf of Mr. Dominguez, Your Honor.
Mr. Mendy, you're still muted.
Oh, I apologize, Judge. The stage is ready, Judge.
All right, the record reflect that I am in the courthouse in El Paso County, but I am not in the courtroom. I am actually zooming from chambers, and so that's the reason for the live stream, which I thought I turned on. It's on. Any objection to the live stream?
None from the stage, Judge.
Mr. Dominguez, are you okay that this is being live streamed on a YouTube channel?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Duran, do you have a report on Mr. Dominguez?
We had a court hearing on October 10th. It was a review hearing and he failed to appear for the hearing. CSO did make attempts to try and contact him, but she was unable to. His voicemail was not set up and so a bench warrant was issued. The reason for that review hearing is because he had failed to report June through August of 2024. He did report September and he did report October. But the court requested that review hearing and so the bench warrant and MVN were submitted and MTR was filed October 23rd, Judge.
And how is he doing on other terms?
He had not made any payments yet towards anything, court costs or supervision fees or fines, no hours. So technically nothing, Judge.
And he's been on since April.
Correct.
Recommendation?
For him to be admonished, Judge, and allowed to continue on probation.
Mr. Ballesteros, have you had a chance to talk to your client?
Your Honor, unfortunately, Mr. Dominguez and I were scheduled for a call earlier this week. It didn't happen, but we are scheduled for tomorrow to speak. So I have not been able to speak with Mr. Dominguez prior to that.
Okay, there is a motion, so I'm trying to be careful with regard to speaking to him directly. Mr. Mendy, the state?
I don't know, Judge. The not reporting usually is a concern. This is a first degree though, so if we do a revocation, we're looking at 5 as the minimum, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Ballesteros, unfortunately, the next time I would see him for a jail docket would be in 2 weeks.
I understand, Judge. I can speak to him tomorrow, Your Honor. I can try and work out something with Mr. Mendy and Miss Duran ahead of time. So that way in 2 weeks, we would have a resolution in mind.
And if you reach a resolution that doesn't involve a revo or doesn't involve more ACOP time, then you can submit it. I mean, we're not going to be here, but we will, I will be checking emails and I actually am going to be here. So you can reach me if there's a resolution. So Mr. Dominguez, Mr. Ballesteros is going to talk to you, but my sense is that often, unless there's a new offense or something can be worked out. Because of the holidays, there's a lapse now. I typically would see you in a week. Mr. Ballesteros will talk to you before then, but because of the holidays, I won't see you for, it's actually more like 2 weeks. So I want to make sure that you understand that part of what might happen is that if the state's agreeable, maybe this time that you're incarcerated is considered a sanction for you having failed to report, not doing the things that you've been doing. I'm not saying they will. Mr. Ballesteros and Mr. Mendy will talk. So, you know, consider it not time wasted, but also possible consequence for not reporting. But I'm going to wait to hear from Mr. Ballesteros because there is a motion, so you're entitled to counsel and he should speak for you. But really, I need to know exactly why basically nothing's been done and why you're reporting and all those things. And based on all of that information, which Mr. Ballesteros will then talk to Mr. Mendy about, then maybe a resolution can be reached. But as you're sitting and waiting, know from my perspective that this is partly due to you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the last 6 months. So we'll see you back in a couple of weeks, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. Downtown, you have to go get the next one, or who do you have?
Yes, Judge, I need to go to another floor to get the next one out.
Okay,
I'll log in as soon as possible. Well, not log in.
just come back. Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
All right. At the annex, do you have casas?
Yes, Your Honor, let me get them right out.
Thank you. Twenty 0D 2020 the state of Texas versus Gustavo Alejandro Casas set for pre-revos, although I confirmed this morning that we do not have a current motion on file. So the status hearings, announcement of council, please.
Jesse Mindy for the state. The state is ready, Your Honor.
Samantha Braga on behalf of Jeff Braga, we're ready, Your Honor.
All right, there have been prior motions and we've had admonishments and those other things were dealt with, but currently I don't think there's a current motion. Mentioned earlier that I am in the county courthouse in the courtroom of the 120th, but not in the actual courtroom and chambers. And so that's the reason for the live stream. Any opposition to the live stream?
None from the state judge.
All right, Mr. Casas, are you okay that this is being live streamed on YouTube?
Yes, yeah.
All right, this is status hearings for Mr. Casas. Ms. Udan, you want to tell me what's been going on?
Yes, Judge. He is currently in the domestic violence caseload, Judge, since April of 2023. He has completed BIB, his anger management, completed TAP. He still has some restitution and court fees outstanding, but he was rearrested October 25th for like 6 or 7 new cases, Judge. And so the VN has been submitted, and I believe the bench warrant as well, Judge.
Mr. Mindy, what do you know about the new charges? You're muted.
I'd have to see where we are. Hang on, Judge. I am trying
October,
to track
pretty
it down.
recent.
Yeah. I don't know. We've been in and out on this one. Give me a sec, Judge.
And for whatever reason, I'm not seeing a court arrest notify, so I don't have any information on the new offenses. You know what they are, Ms. Duda?
I do, Judge. It's a terroristic threat, cause fear of imminent bodily injury, and then interfere with emergency request for assistance, resisting arrest, search for transport. Another interfere with emergency request, assault causes bodily injury, family violence, burglary, habitation, intent other felony, ag assault, abandoned endangered child, individual, no reg, criminal negligence. And then I think on November 2nd, he was additionally charged with an assault causes bodily injury.
You have to bear with me for a second, Judge. My computer is running unusually slow right now.
All right, well, that tells me sort of enough of what we need to know. We're gonna have to wait for those cases, Ms. Rago. They're not something we're just gonna let go. So hopefully, Mr. Casas, I don't know, it was someone who was at the downtown facility. I was telling them earlier that because of the holidays, we won't be here next week, so it'll be 2 weeks. In your case, I would doubt that we'd even have information in 2 weeks, but we'll see you back in 2 weeks and see what the status of those cases are, and maybe we'll have more information about what the state intends to do. Okay, we'll see you back.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Five, 6, 2, 510. 1, 10, 15, and about 20. They call me like we are doing something that one, oh, that's what how do you do with that? Yeah, just because it's your back.
Okay, at the annex, do you have Castro?
Yes, Your Honor, right here.
Thank you. 2024 0D06488, 2023 0D05079, the state of Texas versus Guadalupe Castro set for status and pre-revo announcement of council, please.
Jesse Mendy for the state. The state is ready, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Guadalupe Lopez Lozano for Ms. Castro, who is present.
All right, in the chambers of the 120th in the county courthouse, but not in the courtroom, which is the reason that I'm live streaming. Any opposition?
Over the state.
And I'm from defense, Your Honor.
And Ms. Castro, is it okay with you that this is being live streamed?
Yeah.
All right, so we're set for status and pre-revo, but I see the new case has been filed and that you have settings, and so I think we're just setting this to make sure that case was brought. I assume you guys haven't reached an agreement, or we still don't know enough.
That was my understanding, Judge, was that the status hearing was just to make sure that it got filed. We do have it, but I haven't even taken a look at it myself, Judge.
Jesse, I would just ask if you, when you have an opportunity, if you can look at it and give me a recommendation.
Yeah, yes,
Please.
Ms. Lozano. I'll get to it as soon as I can.
Thank
We just barely got it, so I'll
And
need
yeah,
just a bit of time. Thank you.
And the new one is a UUMB, so as cases go, not a case we necessarily would be very worried about. So you do have a setting before the end of the year. If a resolution can be reached, that would be fantastic, just so that we can address it as opposed to carrying it through to next year. So I'd ask y'all to take a look at it. We'll see you back on the 19th.
We'll see what we can do, Judge.
All
thank
right.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Castro. We'll see you back. Yeah, next, do you have Escobedo?
Yes, Your Honor, 1 second.
Thank you.
You are, we got Giron and Rosales.
Okay, then let's have heat on, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, this is 2024 0D06252, 2024 0D06243, the state of Texas versus Eduardo Jose Giron, set for bond hearings. Announcement of council, please.
Jesse Mendy for the state. The state is ready, Your Honor.
Steros on behalf of Mr. Guidon, also ready.
We are, I am in the chambers of the 120th District Court, not in the courtroom, and that is the reason for the live stream. Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Giron, I wasn't sure if you were speaking over anyone. I want to make sure that you're okay with the fact that this is being live streamed over my YouTube channel.
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
All right. Looking at a bond hearing. And again, it may be that it's just me having trouble with the PSR. I'm only seeing. Actually, I'm seeing a fire, looks like an ag assault. Oh, that's this case. Yeah. So we haven't quite determined if they've cut me off the PSRs or something, but I'm not getting history. So let me look at our PSR, our pretrial services report. Meanwhile, Mr. Ballesteros, what do you want me to know?
Yes, Your Honor. So the important details are that Mr. Guidon is a U.S. citizen. He's here in El Paso. He lives here with his wife and his children. Your Honor, he's going to be staying at 159 Camp. Camp Street. That's in Fabens, Texas. He's going to be staying there with his wife. His wife and I just actually got off the phone about 20 to 30 minutes ago. She informed me that they are in the process of being evicted from their home. Mr. Guidon is the breadwinner for the household. He is the one who pays the bills. He is the one who does the maintenance. He is the one who does everything around the house. And right now they are on the verge of losing that property because he's not out making money and paying for those utilities, Your Honor. This is an aggravated assault charge, Your Honor, that occurred while he was out on bond for a possession of a controlled substance. So the aggravated assault charge, the aggravated weapon or the deadly weapon is dealing with a baton. That's the allegation. And that he allegedly struck Miss Mack, another individual who has her own criminal issues going on right now, who has her own warrants right now, actually. And as far as I could tell, I have not been able to get a hold of Miss Mack. I don't know if the state has had any opportunity to get a hold of her either, but I believe that she might be in the wind already, Judge. She has her own criminal issues, as I mentioned before. But as of right now, Miss Giron can afford $150 more or less towards the bond. She understands that a PR bond may not be in the realm of possibility right now, but that's the most, and that would be asking for money from her father as well as any money from her uncles. Mr. Giron does work in construction. He does have a job that is available to him once he gets out. He can make that money back to pay that family back, but right now, Your Honor, they just have no means of paying the bond as it currently sits.
So my problem is pulling up his history is that he has prior assaultive history going back to 2006, an aggravated assault against a public servant, and that was 2 counts. A 2011 aggravated assault, 2019 possession, a 21 Mandel, a 22 possession, 22 tampering, a 2020 Mandel. So, and then misdemeanors. Misdemeanor assault and a misdemeanor POM. So while I understand the family relies on him, he's not someone who can be getting into trouble. And I don't know anything about this case and may go away, but his history is problematic. Mr. Mindy, anything you want to add?
I think that the courts substantially summarized his criminal history, Judge. There's been quite a lot of issues. I think we'd also draw the court's attention to the fact that the defendant has been to prison. It looks like at least twice prior to this, Judge. So those were obviously the state's concerns. I mean, we don't necessarily want the defendant to be reoffending, and he was out on bond for a minor possession charge when he got this new charge, Judge. Listed the state's concern that if we lower the bond, there may just be more charges coming down. We would say though, Judge, if the court's going to entertain lowering the bond, to have the standard no contacts be put in for any of the witnesses on the ag assault, Judge.
What sounds like Mr. Ballesteros believes the complaining witness is not around, so that might not be a concern, but were there witnesses?
I don't.
It was
I
an
don't
incident
recall.
between her and him, Your Honor. And as far as uninterested witnesses, I don't think that there are any.
I don't remember there being many, Judge.
And what's the relationship? Are they strangers or?
They're not strangers, Your Honor. According to her, they're fiancés. They're engaged. My client and his wife that he's already been married to disagree.
And what is the bond in the Agasol case? The current,
25,000 cash or surety, Judge.
I'm sorry, did you say 25?
Yes, Judge.
And
And Your
on
Honor,
the possession 0?
No bond.
and if I may add one more thing, Your Honor, for the court's consideration, I understand Mr. Giron has some assaultive history, but from my record, my reviewing of it, most of that assaultive history is more than a decade old. And since then, yes, maybe he has picked up new charges, but from what I can see, they were all possessions or something along those lines. I think that the last assault of history is more than 13 years ago, from what I see, a 2011 charge, Your Honor. That's what I see.
Thought I saw 15 and 16 history.
I don't see those. I see possession. I think the most recent thing was a 2020 charge also for drugs. 2022 charge also for drugs. The last assaultive thing I see is from 2011.
I think Mr. Ballesteros may be correct, Judge. Last assaultive is from 2011. There is, however, a trip to the penitentiary in 22 for manufacturing and delivery of drugs, Judge.
Yeah, the Mandels are a little tough, but also the ag assaults on public servants sometimes can be nothing, other times
Mhm.
serious. So those concern me. The bond on the possession case will be set at 5,000 PR. The bond on the Agasol case will be 5,000 surety, 5,000 PR. Mr. Hidon, I know if you don't have 5,000 surety, that seems like a lot, but that is really as low as I'm willing to set that bond. That's already a stretch for me. So I want to make sure that you understand that I wouldn't consider anything lower. Maybe someone else may lower it in the future, but that's the bond. With regard to those bonds, understand that what's most important is that PR portion, because pursuant to that, I'm going to need you to reporting regularly to pretrial services. I'm going to order enhanced supervision. No drugs or alcohol. If you're found in possession, you'd be in violation of your bond order, and it will be revoked. If you're arrested again, would be a violation of your bond, you would be revoked. I'm going to order no contact with the complaining witness. Doesn't sound like that would be a problem, but if you should happen upon her again, no contact means no contact. That means you turn around, go the other way. I can't put her in jail, but I can revoke your bond. Regular reporting, and I will see you back. I think there are settings on the new case. Did I miss that?
Let me check.
Yes.
Any-
Settings starting in January, judges conference on the possession. They should be the same settings, okay?
Understood. Thank you, Judge.
Alrighty, thank you.
So
Mr.
there's,
Goodwin, I'll speak with you, but your bonds were reduced. I'll let your wife know.
if I could just add, Mr. Ballesteros, I don't know if my wife informed you, my son just passed away 4 days ago. That's another problem financially that we're having, is because we don't have the means right now to pay for the funeral because I'm not working. My son was only 11 years old.
And change my decision, Mr. Ballesteros. I'll see you back for your settings.
Understood. Mr. Goodwin, I'll speak with you and I'll speak with your wife. I'm sorry to hear that, sir.
Okay, so it's 5,000?
5,000 on one, and the other one is already PR bond, essentially.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Judge, that's all I have. May I be excused, at least
Yes,
until this
sir.
afternoon?
Yes.
Thank you.
And then at the annex, who was the other one that you said?
We have your honor, Gonzalez Dante.
Okay,
Let me get him up.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Shiva.
2024-0D02524, 2024-0D05904, 2024-0D05905, the state of Texas versus Dante Roman Rosales. Set for status hearings on a couple of these cases, bond on the 5905. Announcement to council, please.
Jesse Mendy for the state. The state is ready, Your Honor.
Joe Rosales on behalf of Mr. Rosales, Your Honor. I'm
All right,
sorry, go
before we
ahead,
get
Judge.
started, I'm in chambers in the 120th, so not in the open court, which is why I'm live streaming. Is there any objection to the live stream?
None from the state, Judge.
I don't have any objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Rosales, is it okay with you that this is being live streamed on the court's YouTube channel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Rosales, do the other cases need bond too, and we just missed it, or is it
But
just
I
20?
think so, Judge, and honestly, I think we've been missing the boat on this guy, or at least I have. He had an evading arrest charge that it looks like happened on April 25th of last year, and we pled him out on July 29th. But these other cases that he's got this burglary of vehicle and 3 credit card abuse cases that occurred before the evading arrest happened. And it looks like state took about 7 months to get these cooking. And I don't know how we missed him last time, but all of this happened before he was placed on probation. So I'm hoping the court will set a bond on his evading if it's not already set. And in consideration of the fact that he, came to court and he pled guilty, he's being supervised by the probation department, I would ask the court to give him PR bonds on those cases, because honestly, I think he must have been out on bond already before we even put him on probation, and then they
Correct.
pulled him back in.
Yeah, so the recommendation on the pretrial services report is that he's high risk. And I think that's probably because he's picked up cases here and there, and who knows about the timing of it. But I don't see anything of concern. There's a in terms of violence. There's a BOH, thefts, that kind of stuff, which might suggest other problems. The only thing is the 2015 unlawful carrying. But other than that, doesn't have any violent history that I can see. Mr. Mendy, did we miss this prior cases? What happened?
I don't know, Judge, exactly how we missed these. The offense dates all around the same time as the evading. But I don't know why they weren't filed. It's just a few months though. So my suspicion is that they probably were still being investigated and then were filed shortly after we pled. Because I don't remember these either, Judge, and I didn't remember seeing anything about these.
There's no way I would have let those just go. I mean,
No, Ms. Rosales, like you're a very good attorney. I didn't expect you to just fumble these.
Yeah, sounds like it, but are you seeing what Mr. Rosales sees, which is the dates are prior to the plea date?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
The dates are prior to the plea date. These didn't happen while he was on probation.
Okay.
So
Ms. Torres, does he have a bond on the 25-24 case?
Judge, yes, so he's only booked on the 25-24 and then 3 JMAGs, but he's not booked on the 5904 or the 5905 for whatever reason.
Well, that's a problem though, because we need him booked before he gets out of custody,
Mhm.
to set those bonds. So you're saying on the 25-24, he's booked on that case, and what's his current bond?
Yes, Judge, he's booked on the bench warrant with no bond.
Okay, bench warrant 0. And on the other cases, do you see bonds posted or nothing?
No bonds posted, Judge, but I have the JMAG numbers if you'd like them.
That go with the 5904 and 5905?
No, Judge, these are apart from those.
So what are the JMAC cases?
The JMAG cases here are burglary of vehicle, 2 burglary of vehicles, and a PR revo.
okay,
On
so I
possession.
want to
Has
say
to
something
be-
about that.
It has to be these cases. This is the 5905 has burglary with 2 priors, and then the PR revo's got to be the 25-24.
I thought the same thing, Judge, but the JMAG numbers, for whatever reason, they don't match. So those are the only reasons.
You think they're
Right.
different?
Mhm.
All right, I cut you off, Mr. Rosales. What are you gonna say?
Well, I just think that it has to be because if you look at the report, I have a copy of something that shows like it's 3 different incidents that I think form the basis of the one that
The
you're seeing.
indictment. Yeah, the
Yes,
indictment.
and the date of the offense of these 3 things is April 20th. So it has to be the same case.
Ms. Torres, what's that JMAG number?
One of them is JMAG 2024 12808
What's the
with
other one?
a bond of 10,000.
And what's the other one?
JMAG 2024 12995 with another bond of 10,000, and then the last one is JMAG 24 03977 with a bond of 1,000. Cash
Oh,
surety.
So
Judge, the JMAC ending in 12925 is showing a offense date of 10/21/24. So that one might be a new one, maybe?
there's also I'm seeing a penalty group 2 that's one of those JMAGs that's in screening. But I'm not sure what the other one is.
All right. Well, there's a lot of stuff here,
Mm.
all of which, if I didn't know better, tells me that there's a substance use issue.
Maybe
It tells the state that as well, Judge.
That's what I think. All right. I'm gonna PR the bonds only because I think something's going on. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, but Ms. Duran has a quick catch that looks like there's one new case. Mr. Rosales, you're gonna bond, Mr. Rosales, defendant Rosales, you're gonna bond out of jail. But I need to be quite honest with you. If you have a substance use issue, you need to address that, because then you're gonna be right back in. You're gonna be right back in on these types of charges, and you may not have this benefit of the doubt the next time. I'm gonna give it to you this once. I don't see any violent history. But you got to get it together. You got to start on probation. They're going to provide resources for you. If you need treatment, they will help you with that. But you've got to be willing to do that. Otherwise, you're going to wind back up in jail, and you've got a lot of cases to kind of handle here, and that everyone needs to kind of figure out when they happen and whether, you know, maybe some of them might have been forgotten when you pleaded the last time. But you need to be real careful because if you get arrested, it's not likely that I am going to see you again. It is quite likely that you will not be seen for a bond hearing until 2025. So you need to be real careful. The first thing you need to do is report to probation and get started on any help they might give you if you need that. I don't know, maybe the second call is probation. Maybe the first call is to Mr. Rosales, because he's going to walk you through what you need to do to make sure you stay out of trouble, any settings you may have. But I'm going to give you this one shot. And so any bonds that you see, Ms. Torres, let's PR the bonds just the way they are. And we'll make sure we have settings for him. I think we may have settings. Let's see. And if we don't, we'll get him set. Yeah, he has settings on the 5905. They start with the judges conference 1219 and then going through April for a jury trial. So we'll get him set. I'll PR these bonds, which means you're going to hit the street, Mr. Rosales. It's up to you to stay out.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And the conditions on your bond, they're going to be conditions of bond, because I want to make sure that you understand that I can revoke them, but they're not going to be any harder than your probation conditions, which is don't get rearrested, don't use illegal substances, UA and BA as you're ordered, stay where you're supposed to be. If you're reporting a certain residence, that's where you need to be, abiding by a curfew. All of those conditions that if you are complying with your probation, you're going to be good on bond. But if you're not, in addition to possibly having the department say you're violating your probation condition, is I will revoke these bonds. And the real risk is I may not see you again until, well, it won't be me. That's what I'm telling you. It won't be me. And you're going to have to wait for someone else to come and consider these bonds. All right, although I'll be PR'd, Mr. Rosales, you have settings. We'll see you back for those.
Judge, would you make sure that I'm appointed on those credit card cases? Because I don't think I am.
You are. The only one I don't
Am I?
see one is the evading for whatever reason. 5904 and the 5905 will get you on the 2524. And then we'll see what they've done on the JMAC cases. But on mine, I see you on the two newer ones.
You do? Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one.
All right. That was all at the annex, right?
Oh, yes, Your Honor, that's all we have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
2022-0D02273, the state of Texas versus Rogelio Escobedo, set for a pre-revo hearing. Announcement in council, please.
Jesse Mendy for the state. The state is ready, Your Honor.
Derek White on behalf of Mr. Escobedo, respectfully ready to proceed.
All right, I am in chamber, so not in the courtroom, and that's the reason for the live stream. Any objections to the live stream?
None from the state, Judge.
No, ma'am. No objection.
Mr. Escobedo, what I mean is that this is being broadcast over the court's YouTube channel. Is that okay with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Escobedo set for a pre-rebel hearing. Ms. Duran?
Judge, Mr. Escobedo stopped reporting from November 2023 up until his arrest, Judge. We had a review hearing in November of last year. He failed to appear, so a bench warrant was issued then. And the issues back then were non-compliance with maintaining his interlock device. He had been locked out. And then continued use of alcohol and cocaine, Judge. So motion was filed.
The recommendation of the department?
Judge, he had initially been recommended to do BHRTC because he was in TAP, but then was dropped due to continued substance use. So at that point, it was treatment. So if the court and all parties are in agreement, it would be to BHRTC, but we would have to extend his term.
All right. Mr. Mendy?
I'm always for treatment, Judge. So I would prefer that be what we do in this case. But full disclosure to defense and the court, this case, it looks like was reduced to a Class A.
It is. It's a DWI. So we got a DWI second. We got Coke, booze, not reporting. No interlock, et cetera, et cetera. So our options may be limited.
And they might be a little,
Yeah, will they take him at BHRTC, Mr. Dunn?
On a misdemeanor, yes, Judge.
But with an extension, he'll need an extension.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, you all probably should talk because this is the kind of offense where I'm not taking risk here. So if you can resolve it, that's probably gonna be easier than the options that I would.
Do we know how much time he's had? Seems like he's been in a while.
21 days.
How long?
21 days.
That's it?
21 days.
We're on the run now?
I turned
No,
myself in.
He's been not reporting since it's a year, but he's been in now 21 days.
And I turned myself in. I haven't got charges.
That's
Um,
cool.
I'm
You want-
trying to,
Yeah, don't talk. I know that you want to tell me what you want to tell me. I'll let Mr. Wyatt do that. But Mr. Wyatt, just so you know, this is a problematic case. I mean, the good thing is he was pleaded down because otherwise I would not be looking at anything but treatment. In August, I had already had 5 positives and problem blows. He'd been sanctioned, but he didn't complete an evaluation. Didn't report in July, returned to El Paso. He had initially gone to Ector County. And then we came back again in November, wasn't attending treatment, positive smart start readings, all that stuff, not good for me. So the fact that he has no new charges and turned himself in doesn't move me in any way. I'm very concerned about his lack of compliance. So I would suggest that you talk to Mr. Mindy, and I'm not going to see for 2 weeks, which I don't mind given this history. We'll see back in a couple of weeks if y'all can get it resolved. Otherwise, he'll be waiting till 25.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you back. Thank you.